If someone was to tell you that there was a direct link between Lucan and ancient Egypt, you would probably think they were mad. But up a lane from the centre of Lucan village is a small, quiet park beside the Griffin River. Here is the source of the story, but there is no mention of it on the information board and no sign to point to it. That little bit of Egypt was hidden in an ancient ring fort on the top of the rocky outcrop beside the park, and the knowledge buried in archaeology books for centuries.
I discovered the story of this site when I was asked to investigate the archaeology of my local area. And an article on the National Museum's website spoke about the ring fort in Pettycannon, which is where we are here behind us. And it said it was Iron Age. It's actually early medieval, which is around 400 to 1100 AD. But the thing that was really interesting was a pair of Egyptian jars or vases dating from the 1st to 2nd century BC. And I wanted to find out why these jars were there. There was a lot of skepticism. People dismissed it. They couldn't possibly have come from there. The finds that were in there could all just be a hoax.
The finds referred to were discovered in an underground structure called a souterrain on the top of this rocky outcrop of Pettycannon in Lucan. A catalogue of the collection of George Petrie in 1867 lists these tiny Egyptian bottles as having been found there.
They're grey, boring kind of bottles, but they would have been used to transport therapeutic or scented oils from the Middle East. And the site is located very close to the Liffey. We have the Griffin around and the Liffey down below. And we know that the Liffey from Ptolemy's map has been used as a penetration point for traders to kind of get into the heartland of Ireland. So you can imagine that this guy may have been around here and these traders were coming in and that some exchange was taking place, and the guy behind us bought some scented oils or therapeutic oils for himself. And then you start to build this picture up of, okay, these weren't just guys living in mud and wooden huts. These were sophisticated people with a sophisticated society, a rich political system as well, able to tap into these trade resources and able to buy some Egyptian souvenirs.
The souterrain was quite large, and it is thought to have had many other artefacts, such as combs, swords, or even axes. And there is living evidence of some of those treasures still being in the locality.
A fellow member of the Society of Old Lucan, Helen Farrell, remembers seeing these axes in school, in primary school, being shown these polished stone axes, and was told that they came from this ring fort. And unfortunately, the site was investigated before modern legislation came in. People weren't reporting finds. They could be in attics, they could be in car boot sales, they could be anywhere, we just don't know.
So somewhere out there in Ireland, or maybe even Britain, there may sit on a shelf the clue to understanding this ancient farmer and his family and the world they lived in. But for now, all we have are the precious Egyptian scented oil bottles and a fascinating story that still remains to be told.
This is the true island. We don't like to use Celtic island, but it's the early medieval. This is our ancient prehistory, before Patrick, before Christianity, before the Vikings. This is our true heritage, and this is something that we should be proud of and should be able to champion it as much as the surrounding areas do, the same as Clondalkin with their round towers, Palmerstown, Leixlip. I think it's time that Lucan started uncovering its early medieval roots.